show us what to do on stocks that start off well but don't go in favor. This is a great question. And here's what I like to do. I like to slide the chart back. Instead of looking at it after the fact, let's analyze it bar by bar so we know what's going on. FUTU, I'm going to drag this over just one bar, okay? Nice long base. Connect that top right there if we want. Just going across those tops. Good volume on this bar. Clean and simple. Advance it. It lifts through on a pickup in volume, and we buy it. Now here's the important thing. We don't buy up here. We buy close to that white line. There's a valuable lesson in this. Very valuable. A lot of people say, oh, I'm going to wait until it goes up quite a bit. It's like, no. The better things to do is buy it close to the pivot, because if it falls, it keeps the losses much smaller. First day breakout. Now this is what I don't like. It gaps up and reverses down. The best stocks push away. I say that a lot. When they don't, that is a red flag to be careful. Advance it one day. Comes down to the pivot and then closes up just a little bit. Two negatives. A, it came right down almost to that pivot line, that white line. And B, it lifted back up on low volume. That's concerning. And we say to ourselves, if this sucker starts falling below that line, we're selling. That's it. Oh, it lifts off. Everything's great. Okay? That's good. You could even buy more right here. Why? It lifted up on a pickup in volume. But we bought 20% more. We always buy less than our initial buy. In this instance, because it didn't have a lot of power, we only bought 20% more. So if our first buy was 50 shares, we're only going to buy 10 more shares. That's it, 20% more. Advance it one bar. It goes up. There's no power to add more. No real powerful price advance and less volume, so we wait. Inside bar, basically an inside bar on low volume. What do we not want to see? We don't want to see this thing starting to fall. If it does, we're going to sell it. There, right there, on that bar, gaps down, loses the lows of this bar, loses the lows of this bar. It's coming down towards our price on a pickup in volume. We're selling. We're not going to argue with it. The best stocks push away. They don't do this. We know it from looking at millions of charts. We're not going to argue with it. And that's Friday. So we got out. We got out without getting hurt. All right, we're taking a look right here at TIGR FinTech Holdings. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know where we bought this. I can't remember on this one. But we can analyze this chart. And this is very important. First, it lifted up, all in here, on good volume. But I want to show you something important. This bar here, it lifted on good volume and closed okay. This bar, it lifted up. But if you note, this stock ran up and slipped and closed basically at its midpoint for the day. That's a negative. You don't want that. The next bar, it gaps up and reverses and closes down. That is a negative. I mean, you got a couple of negatives there. Volume was less, but a slight negative. The next bar, it lifts up and starts to go back up again. But note this, volume was heavier, but not extremely heavy. And it's just hanging around on this, in this buy area. It's not pushing away. As I pointed out on the first one, the best stocks just push away. We don't need to micromanage it, but we've got to be on high alert. The next bar, it gaps up. See that gap up? I'm going to make this bigger for us. See that opening? It gaps up, it runs up, and reverses and closes down a little bit on the day. Not by much, but a little bit. What's the saving grace? It did it right here on low volume. So we stay with it. The next bar, this is when it gets strange. It gaps down, it runs up, and then starts to fall. And as it's falling, it's doing it on a pickup in volume versus these bars and these bars. As that's dropping, we are not going to let a profit, it's a small profit, turn into a loss. And so what do? We sell. We sell. And it's good we did because it fell quite a bit. We want to avoid that. Okay, here we go. APPS going across these tops right here. I'll draw it for us. There we go. Well, it's kind of a cup and a handle formation here. Here's the cup, here's the little handle. And what did we say? We probably said this on the video. If it takes out these tops, we'll buy it. It's pretty clean and simple. Nothing fancy. Advance at 1 bar. It lifts up through these tops on a pickup in volume. It's a good buy. Volume could have been a little heavier, but it's a good breakout. It's valid. Advance at 1 bar. This is what I don't like. Note closely, and I'll enlarge this. I don't like it. This stock gapped up above the close of the previous day. Gaps up and then falls and reverses down to the pivot price on heavier volume than it lifted on. Look at that. Heavier selling volume than buying volume. That is a negative. When I see that, that tells me I ought to sell some. I'm really stringent with keeping losses smaller. Something you will find, the best stocks just push away. Advance it, it goes up. And it lifts up and takes out the highs of this bar. That's a plus. But what's the concern? Volume is less than this bar. Up volume is less than down volume. So we're going to be careful just to make sure. We're not going to buy more, that's for darn sure. And then it drops. Now it drops on less volume, but it actually falls a little bit below the breakout price. That's not good. I'll say it again. Best stocks push away. We don't like it when they do this. That's why I'm really big on clean and simple base breakouts. It's good above the white line and it's bad below. It does this and it's fallen on a pickup in volume. We're out. I'm not going to have any problems with it. It shouldn't do that. The best ones push away. Yeah, and it lifts up a bit here and then you get this. Thank heaven we got out because then it turns into a problem.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.